지난 2025년 8월 20일 가자지구 남쪽 라파 지역 인근에서 하마스 대원 18명이 이스라엘 군인들을 납치하기 위해서 이스라엘 군사기지를 침입하는 일이 있었습니다. 아마도 2023년 10월 7일 날 하마스의 기습 공격 이후로 가장 큰 규모의 공격이 아니었을까 싶은데요. 다행스럽게도 이날 납치 작전은 실패했고 18명의 하마스 대원 중에 10명은 그 자리에서 사살당하고 8명은 출행랑을 치는 그런 일이 있었죠. 그 장면들을 생생히 목격했던 분이 바로 저희 브래드TV에 아주 자주 출연했던 분이죠. 알리아 리턴 센터의 메일스핀이라고 하는 메시아닉 주 사역자입니다. 이분이 지금도 가자지구 안에서 부비트랩을 제거하는 그런 작전을 펼치고 있는 군인인데요. 도대체 그날 무슨 일이 있었는지, 그리고 그 사건을 전 세계가 어떻게 언론에서 다뤘는지 메일스핀이 그 뉴스들을 보면서 아주 분통을 터뜨렸다라고 하는데요. 이것은 분명히 사실을 제대로 전달하지 않는 일반 언론의 이 가짜 뉴스, 페이크 뉴스에 대한 분노일 것입니다. 오늘은 좀 그런 이야기를 들어보려고 메일스핀을 만나서 이야기를 나눠보도록 하겠습니다. Hi, 메일스핀.
So nice to see you, brother. Thank you for coming to the Galilee.
지난 2025년 8월 20일 날 라파 지역 인근에서 하마스 대원 18명이 이스라엘 기지를 침입했어요. 물론 이제 다행히 그중에 10명은 사살되고 8명은 도망가긴 했지만 이스라엘 군인은 또 3명인가 다쳤다고 그러더라고요. 그때 상황, 물론 저희도 뭐 한국에서 뉴스로 듣긴 했지만 우리 메일스핀께서 좀 자세하게 좀 다시 한번 설명 좀 해주시겠습니까?
When they attacked us in that outpost, this is where I go. I'm deployed throughout Gaza, and southern Lebanon. Our guys are even in Syria and other countries around. That's Yahalom. Specifically, Yahalom is the combat engineer elite unit for special missions. So that time when they attacked, yes, they thought that they would be able to take a bunch of soldiers' bodies to increase the hostage number. Instead of it going down, that it would go back up. That's what they want. So they brought even stretchers with them to shoot and surprise us and load the bodies on and take them into the tunnel that they came out of. We knew that tunnel was there. Yahalom, I was at this tunnel. But what happened is we weren't expecting that they'd attack from there at that time. And we, thank God that we were alert enough, not like on October 7th, we were alert enough to stop them. They threw 8 grenades, only 2 blew up. Only 2 actually were able to blow up. So there is what I think is a mini miracle there. One, that we were ready and nobody was neglecting to be alert. And again, 8 grenades were thrown right then on us. We were completely caught off guard, but only 2 blew up. And they weren't able to take any of us. And they weren't able to kill any of us. Even though their news said they killed many of us, they didn't kill any of us. There was just some injured, some shot soldiers, but they didn't kill any of us in that time. It's like a miracle.
저희가 그 뉴스를 통해서 알고 있었던 그 정보들하고 또 이렇게 직접 얘기를 들어보니까 조금씩 차이는 있네요. 그렇게 가자지구 안에서 전투를 하다 보면은 메일스핀도 하마스와 이렇게 맞닥뜨린 적이 있습니까?
Have I faced the Hamas? Yes, because I didn't just start. Now I've actually been, defending Israel on multiple. I was in 2006 in southern Lebanon. I was now in southern Lebanon just during this war. I was in 2005 in Gaza. I'm now in Gaza. I was in Operation Cast Lead. I was in Operation Guardian on the Walls. Many different, almost like mini wars with them. Operations. And yes, at one of those times they came to ambush. The same story you just told, they came to ambush me. And they had machine guns. The only thing that happened that was amazing for this big moment in my life was there was a wall. And they were shooting from behind the wall. I was out in the open with my team. We were going to a tunnel. At that time, there wasn't any hostages. There was only one hostage at that time, Gilad Shalit. This is before the war, okay? And so we were looking for one hostage, Gilad Shalit. We ended up releasing 1,000 terrorist murderers, convicted murderers with blood on their hands, for the release of one. Maybe that was a big mistake because that's what they wanted. That's what Yahya Sinwar wanted to do now, and trained all his people, brainwashed them into that being the goal of their life. Instead of building infrastructure in schools, they built cages underground with bars for children and women to be raped and abused and tortured. So what happened is there was behind a wall and they were shooting machine guns on us. I was out in the open. Bullets were whizzing by me like a whistle, like this. Sound like this, the bullets. And you could hear on the metal, there was a bulldozer nearby, and it was ding, 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 as it was going. So I rolled, I'm a machine gunist, I rolled behind this bulldozer scooper, and I'm behind it, and then we already were running low on bullets, already, because it was. Then quickly I was able to reload, and I actually charged against the Hamas by myself. Because the other soldiers were trying to reload, and it looked like slow motion. It looked like this, because sand was getting in the in this part, you know, sand was getting inside here, and so they were like trying to reload, you know, and so they were trying to reload like this, you know. And meanwhile, I had the machine gun, and I ran to the left, and they ran down into their tunnel, and we didn't die. None of us died in this moment. This was one of my biggest clashes. We've had more in this war, but this was one of my biggest ones, facing them head on.
그렇게 삶과 죽음의 그 갈림길을 매일 그 순간을 거의 매일 24시간 그 맞이하는 곳이 이제 가자지구인데, 그 아무리 그 나라의 부름을 받는다 하더라도 가자지구 안으로 들어오라고 그럴 때 가기 싫을 때도 있지 않습니까?
Yes, of course. The way that I look at it, you know, growing up, I didn't want to be in the army. I didn't want to be a soldier. That's not one of the goals of my life. I want to help people. We have the charity, Aliyah Return Center, helping humanitarian. We help Arabs and Jews. Jewish people that make Aliyah, the Arabs that are local, and we help them, anyone in need, entire congregations, we help them and give them food vouchers. This is what makes me happy. I don't want to be in the army. I have 3 children. I'm a charity founder and president, and you know, I don't need to be in the army. But when I realize, like King David, when the wolf comes and takes one of the lambs of the sheepfold of the house of Israel, takes the lambs in its fangs, and it goes into the lair of the wolf. It's called a Hamas tunnel. You have to be a good shepherd. The Bible wants us to be good shepherds, to rescue the lamb. Not just here's the green pastures, here's the still waters. Psalms 23, good shepherd leads us. We follow the good shepherd who also protects Israel, not just here's the green pastures, here's the still waters. I rescue you with your rod and your staff. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. And so this is what I believe that I need to do. So whenever I'm worried, I never tell my family that what exactly I'm doing. I just say, I love you. God bless you. I'll see you soon. I don't know if that's my last conversation I'll ever have, but it is my duty to defend the sheep of the house of Israel. And it's an honor to be like a good shepherd, like the good shepherd.
그럼 전투하다가 이렇게 집에서 전화 오면 전화를 받습니까? 어떻게 되는 거예요? 전화가 돼요? 이 가자지구 안에서?
I'm saying before you go in. This is not this is before you go to the war front. You're at home, or you just before you go into Gaza. Sometimes you can have a call, but you must not say where you are or what mission you're on. There's enemies that can listen to your phone call. Hamas listens to our phone calls and has even called soldiers and say things like they know where we live. There's an information war at hand that we need to be aware of.
말 나온 김에 좀 설명 좀 해주세요. 지금 가자시티하고 가자지구 안에 있는 가자시티하고 칸 유니스, 라파 지금 상태가 어떻습니까? 상황이?
Yeah, Khan Yunis, Rafah, there's a bunch of different areas that, of course, were super hotbeds of terror. We would go through there, you're shot at. There's roadside bombs. As you know, at the time of this filming, we just had a roadside bomb explode. A bunch of our people, 4 soldiers just died. 2 more shot at the crossing from Jordan. But so Rafah was the #1 resupplying station. There's just a whole bunch that we That's my job, is to observe and deal with the tunnel threat. That's what my part of my unit is dealing with tunnels. And they would bring in weapons, they'd bring in all kinds of stuff through, that was the rearming. We don't want them to rearm. We want Gaza to be disarmed. We want Hamas to be dismantled. And so that we were able to shut those down. So Rafah is no longer a hotbed of terror. It was, no longer is. Same thing with Khan Yunis. There's still areas where there's tunnels that we haven't dealt with, many, but we haven't got to them all. We've kind of swept through and gone and focused now. All the focus is on Gaza City at the time of this filming.
지금 그러면 이스라엘하고 이렇게 하마스, 팔레스타인과의 이 갈등이 결국은 이제 전쟁까지 이어지고 이 전쟁으로 많은 사람들이 지금 죽어가고 또 이스라엘은 또 이 전쟁이 길어지면 길어질수록 전 세계로부터 고립되는 이런 상황이 펼쳐지면서 도대체 이 이스라엘하고 팔레스타인, 특히 하마스 이런 갈등과 이런 상황을 메일스핀 씨는 어떻게 이 문제들을 해결할 수 있을 거라고 생각하십니까?
We look at the different solutions to a danger to security. There is political solution. Political solution says, just give money. Let's say, give a Palestinian state. Give money. Get the Jews out. Okay? All Jews out. Then everything will be good and peaceful. Put in their Starbucks. Put in their good coffee shops. We did this in 2005. This is the political solution. All the Jews were taken out 2005. All of them, even the bodies. Even the graves taken out of Gaza. And lots of money went to Gaza. But did that produce peace? No. You have people since 2005 never met a Jewish person. They only came to work and get good jobs and electricity and water and food and money. Billions have gone, $8 billion dollars in the last 20 years have gone there. More than any single location in the whole planet Earth. Okay? And that didn't produce peace though. It produced, they used that to brainwash the younger generation, and those young people who were babies in 2005 are now 19, 20, 18, 17, 16, and they are the Hamas now. So that's political solution isn't a solution. For people to think that's a solution again, they don't look what just happened. They don't understand that throw money at it doesn't work. The next one, military solution. In the end, with Lebanon, they were shooting the children in the school with the Druze children. They bombed the 12. They shot my family, almost killed me and my baby. I held my young son with my body as the missiles were shooting in the north, near my house. You know, so I went into there, cleared them out, cleared out the weapons, and it's quiet now. That's the military solution. Long term, it's not a real solution. They might just continue again. What is the real solution? Kingdom, the kingdom of God. To cover the whole land of Israel and all our neighbors, to change their minds. That's the only thing that really will work. But military solution does provide some quiet. Just like we cleared the weapons and brought the quiet in Lebanon, same thing we're doing in Gaza. You'll see, with no weapons, it's going to be quiet.
그런데 지금 전 세계 뉴스를 보면, 물론 이제 뭐 한국 뉴스도 마찬가지지만, 이스라엘 군이 가자지구 안에 들어가서 너무 가혹하게 밀어붙이는 게 아니냐, 뭐 이렇게 얘기를 해요. 또 얼마 전에는 가자지구 안에 있는 병원을 공격해서 거기 있는 많은 환자들이 죽기도 하고, 또 그 현장을 취재하는 기자들도 죽고, 또 구호단체 요원들도 죽고, 이렇게 너무 하마스와는 상관없는 민간인들을 많이 이스라엘 군인들이 죽이는 게 아니냐, 이런 비난하는 그런 뉴스들이 많이 지금 나오고 있거든요. 뭐 한국에서도 그런 뉴스들이 나오고 있어요. 이런 부분에 대해서는 어떻게 생각하십니까?
I would say that I think that now we see what the Charlie Kirk effect is. People speaking truth and some people not wanting to receive the truth and in fact just getting violent to silence the truth. When people realize the truth about Israel, that we are not here to go against the 1948 Geneva Convention saying that you shouldn't do a genocide, the articles of Hamas say they want to genocide all of Israel if they could. They have intention to do so. We don't want to genocide any Gazans. We don't want to genocide anyone. We want defense. We want security. We want our people to be protected in their schools and in their synagogues and in their homes, and not to be massacred like they did with 1,500 or so people, 250 plus people taken into the tunnels of torture and terror and still held there. 48 are still there at the time of this filming. So we have no desire ever. I mean, Israel could have dropped a bomb, a very big bomb, and not picking, please leave this place, please leave that place. I'm going to read the Article 51 of the UN Charter. Okay? Nothing in this present charter shall impair the inherent right of an individual or a collective self-defense if an armed attack occurs. Again, nothing in the charter of the UN Charter will stop a collective to defend themselves if an armed attack occurs. That's Article 51. Okay, what happened is they attacked us. We know that they want to do it again. Ghazi, the spokesperson, said they want to do another October 7th massacre, and they will if they're not stopped. So we must go and remove that threat, especially when it's not actually a state, especially if a terrorist, legally, internationally recognized terrorist group called Hamas, is al-Din al-Qassam, the Al-Qassam Brigades, Islamic Jihad, and so on, are trying to continue terror from a territory which is not even a state. You don't have to declare official war. You need to go into this territory where the terrorist exists and remove that terror.
그 구호주의 단체의 그 구호 물자를 실은 트럭이 이스라엘 군이 못 들어가게 한다. 또는 들어가는 것을 굉장히 소극적으로 대하고 있다. 심지어는 들어갔음에도 불구하고 사람들이 가자지구 난민들이 막 몰려들 때 이스라엘 군인들이 그 난민들한테 총을 쏴서 사람들을 죽게 했다. 이런 뉴스도 있어요. 사실입니까?
What is good about me in this position is that I've been consecutively deployed for 714 days, consecutive deployment. So I see the trucks month after month throughout almost 2 years now of this labor of love to defend our own people from this really satanic command from the abyss to wipe Israel off the map. Only people that are listening to the devil will say things like this, like they do in Iran, the boss of Hamas, like they do, like Haman did in the Bible in the time of Esther, kill all the Jews everywhere, like Pharaoh did in the time of the Bible. This is like Hitler did. This is something very demonic, and that's what they have in their charter, and that's what they're trying to do. But we're not going to let them. What I have seen with my own eyes, not looking, examining some YouTube if it's fake or not, I have seen the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of trucks, not just now, but throughout, going in to Gaza, and the Hamas goes and was stealing those. That's why GHF, Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, does a much better job because they don't let the trucks be taken. The trucks are unloaded on tables and people, thousands of people are able to rush in and grab. Usually the men get it first, they're faster, and then the women come and they all say, thank you so much, Israel. Thank you, America. They are all saying that in Arabic. And so it's amazing. What I will say is there's over 2 million tons of aid, of food and aid that have gone in. 2 million is what I'm telling you right now. 2 million. How many people are there? A little over 2 million. That's about 1 ton per person. I don't know how much a person can consume. A ton, okay, per person. So the fact that the food is going in is a fact. There's also the fact that Hamas wants to use that to rob from their own people, to sell it to them, and to steal their money. So that is something very evil. They don't care about their own people.
그런데도 왜 이렇게 전 세계는 그 이스라엘을 악마화시키고 이스라엘을 비난하는 이런 가짜 뉴스를 만들고 이런 뉴스들을 또 많은 사람들이 진짜로 받아들이는 이런 현상, 왜 이런 일들이 계속 일어나고 있는 걸까요?
Why do people believe the fake news? One of the reasons is, I'll tell you why, there's sensationalism. If there's something that can move you, for example, there's 12 different babies. This is very moving for any human. You see a baby that looks like they're starving, and you put 12 different ones in the New York Post or New York Times and in Wall Street Journal and around the world, and you see these babies, and they say, look what Israel's doing. This invokes an anger, a sadness, a lot of emotion. But do you know what that actually is? If you look behind it, I'll talk to you about how that's fake news. But if you look behind it, why did someone put that there? Why did they put the pictures of pots, banging pots like we are starving? Which that was a Hollywood type, we call it Pallywood, Palestinian Hollywood. Pallywood. That's what it was. It was fake. It's a stage thing. As I said, they're leaving the food there. There's so much food, they're leaving it there. People can't even carry that much food. It's so much, okay? That's there, a flour, and they're dumping the flour out instead of making bread and using the bags to store stuff. So my point is, why do people believe it? Well, one, the enemy wants a fundraiser. That is a terrorist fundraiser, and they get their money through crypto and through different ways. You can track all this, you can check all this. When someone puts out fake news like this, it's a fundraiser for to supply their terrorist regime. It doesn't go to the people. It's a fundraiser to the bombs and weapons and continual terror of Hamas and Hamas supporters around the world. That's why they do it. But those 12 children that you saw showcased, each and every one, and I'm sure you've seen this, has been proven they had a pre-existing genetic issue, which was in many cases treated by Israel. One baby was taken to Italy. They had a degenerative. The muscles weren't developing. Nothing to do with this war. It was before the war. And they had brought this child before the war to Italy, where this child has already grown up. But you show that picture of a degenerative, that means the muscles aren't growing right because of the DNA issue. That has nothing to do with this war or starvation. But yet still, they push this around and they'll take pictures from a starvation in Sudan.
우리 브래드TV 시청자들이 한국의 기독교인들이 우리 메일스핀과 또 알리아리스턴 센터와 이스라엘을 위해서 기도한다면 어떤 기도를 해드리는 게 좋겠습니까?
Yeah, we definitely talked a lot about soldiers and the struggle they're going through. And that's going to be some years of needing to, the government estimated 9 billion shekels over the next few years to make programs to help them. I myself want to do that. We're not actually doing that through the charity. That would be just through chaimmeilspin.com. I have a thing that I'm trying to do for soldiers to help them. But I would say the work of the Aliyah Return Center, there's a lot of lies in this world. One, that people would start to seek truth. People would start to not believe immediately what they see without asking, why did someone say this? What are they trying to get from what they're saying? Just take a moment before they believe and you look a little deeper and you get the truth is there. It's easy to see. For example, one of the hardest things for me is when people say, you Jewish people, you're not even the Jewish people of the Bible that came through the waters of the Red Sea, that came through the Jordan River and made Aliyah, the return of the Jewish people to the Promised Land. You're not the same people. We say, did you say that when Hitler was killing the people of Israel and saying, no, you're killing the wrong people. You're just killing the fake ones, the fake Jews. You must go find the real ones. If you want to kill the Jews, you must go kill 6 million of the real ones. You're killing the fake. No one said that then. Did anyone go and write letters to Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and say, you are making a nuclear weapon to bomb the wrong country? No, this is the fake Israel. You go find the real one in somewhere else and bomb them. You said you hate Israel, not the fake Israel. You see how foolish it is? No one's saying that because it's just lies, okay? But my hope and prayer is that people will look deeper. In the prophecies, he says, I will gather you. This is an Aliyah promise. I will, Jeremiah 32, verse 41. I will rejoice over them to do them good and plant them in the land with all of my heart and all of my soul. Plant them in the land with all of my heart and all of my soul. Where does it say in the Bible God will do anything with all of his heart and all of his soul? I will help them to make Aliyah. It's the only thing he'll do with all of his heart and all of his soul. Are we willing to do that too? Are we willing to gather with the gatherer? Yeshua said, he who gathers not with me scatters abroad. Are we the scatterers or are we the gatherers? So my hope is that people will be gatherers. People will read the promise. People won't believe the lies right away, but look deeper. And really, people will come here to volunteer, see the land for themselves, come to pray in the prayer house, come to help honor the Holocaust survivors and help see his kingdom come here on earth as it is in heaven.
알겠습니다. 오늘 이렇게 긴 시간 가자지구에서 가족으로 돌아와서 좀 편안한 시간을 가지셔야 되는데 오늘 또 저희들을 만나서 이렇게 좋은 얘기 해주셔서 고맙습니다. 오늘 인터뷰해 주셔서 고맙습니다. 가자지구에 다시 들어간다 하시더라도 건강하게 무사히 다시 돌아와서 다음에 또 만나 뵙기를 바라겠습니다. 다음엔 한국에서 만나야 될 것 같아요. 오늘 이렇게 인터뷰해 주셔서 고맙습니다. 감사합니다. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. What a blessing. Thanks for coming to visit.
Thank you.